Hey, this is Thursday, August 15th. We've just discovered that math is hard. It's okay. That's why they don't use animals. So now we're going to be getting into more information. We're going to be talking about the Small World Project here shortly. We're going to be picking up the actual pictures of you. We're going to be talking about the classroom stuff. So those of you who are watching the home version, there will be a moment coming up in just a little bit where you're going to get a chance to fast forward because I'm going to disappear from the screen because I'm going to be doing a thing in the room. And you can do the little slider thing. You're like, and you can just slide it until I appear again, and then you should be good to help you guys out. See, those of you here that don't slide it yet, by the way, if you already took off, then you're going to miss out on stuff. You got to wait till I disappear, then you can do the slidey thing. Let's see, to there. All right. A thing I realized I forgot to mention to you as I was catching up with B points. There's a thing called the Hochstetler rule, named after one of my past students, Alex Hochstetler. And the way the Hochstetler rule works, if you lose 15 B points in a week, you get an automatic detention, regardless of how many B points you have, regardless of how many B points you earn. If you lose 15 points in a week, you'll get an automatic detention. Now, for most of you right now, that's unimaginable, because you're like, I only have 15 points. But some of you are going to become decent humans and get up to like 20, 30, 40, 60, 70 points. And if you lose 15 points in a week, you get the auto detention. Even if you're at 1,000 B points and you lose 15 and you go down to 985, you get an automatic detention. If you're at 30 B points and you lose 15 and you bring in 30 more B points, you still get an automatic detention. Losing 15 gives you an automatic detention because you should never lose 15 unless you're just a giant turd in class. And if you're a giant turd in class, I don't feel bad about torturing you. Why is it named after Hochstetler? The reason it's named after young Alex Hochstetler is because he learned how to work the system. And he had parents who did a whole bunch of can recycling. And what he would do is he would come into class each week, bring in a giant pile of smashed pop cans, get a whole bunch of B points, and then act like a turd for the entire week and lose like 30 points. And then the next week he'd come in, giant pile of cans again, drop them off, be like, I'm going to be a jerk, woo, and have the entire week. And so he did that like every week, and I said, congratulations, I'm going to change my rules because of you. And he goes, if you do that, you have to name it after me. And I'm like, all right, Hochstetler, done. From now on, we have the Hochstetler rule. If you lose 15 points in a week, you automatically get the detention. So just giving you the heads up, if you lose 15 points in a week, auto detention, so try not to do that. For right now, that for most of you, that's all of your points. For some of you, that would put you in the negatives because you're already under 15 points. Woo, winning. But someday you guys will get to be better kids, so I'm just giving you a heads up now. All right, next up, let's see. They're wanting of me to print your picture, so to help out Ryan, if you're trying to make sure you're sending it to this email address that's right over there. It's also on that remind I sent out to you. And then we can, if you need help at the end of class, come see me. I can low-key help you and we'll get there. The rest of you, if you are wanting me to still print your pictures, absolutely. The drawback is I'm charging you a point if it is sent to me between now and tomorrow before first period. If you wait until first period starts tomorrow, I charge you 2 points for me to print it. Because now you're slacking and waiting to the last minute. It's that whole trying to teach you responsibility thing I keep talking about. So hopefully that helps you out somewhat. Excuse me. Questions from you guys? I'm glad my burping made you laugh, Jada. What a good way to start the day. Then, there. Aha. The remind I sent out last night. So I sent this out to you guys to try and help you out with the whole homeworky thing. A moment ago, I went through and did all of your names. In a few moments from now, I'm going to go through and do all of your names again. Towards the end of class, I'm going to do your names again. So the idea being is, if you're paying attention, you should be able to look at all those names. If for some reason, at the end of today, you still don't have all the names, today on the remind, I'm going to send you a thing that's going to help you figure out how to get all the names. And it's going to be my gift to you. But here's a small thing. Kids kept replying to my remind last night, going, Mr. Brovicast, I don't know when that homework was due. I'm confused. When's the homework due? To which I replied, hey, smart child, said sarcastically, how would you know when this homework was due? Even easier than that, because let's say you're at home. You can't see my whiteboard when you're at home. My gird. Nice done, Elijah. It was written right there on the remind I sent you where it says due Friday 8/16. You were literally replying to the thing that tells you when it was due with the question going, when is this due? That's me making me have to mock you. So just giving you a heads up. Usually the information's probably in the thing you're replying to. Questions from there? No, we just want you to make fun of us. Good, done. Glad we can do that together. Now I get to collect your pictures. So make sure your first and last name is on the back of that picture. For some of you, if you have a slicky picture, make sure you're using pen, because if you're using pencil, it's going to be all invisible and not show up and not work at all. If you have one like Samuel does, we have a whole bunch of white paper stuff around it, then you're going to need to make sure you get scissors to cut off all that excess white stuff. Don't try and chew it off or something like that. That's not going to work for you. I have scissors right over here, and don't walk in front of my screen. You're going to have to go around my screen so the creepers can't hunt you down. And they're like, it's kid hunting season. So you have to come around there, grab them, and then walk back around. Yeah, you're more than welcome to borrow my scissors as long as you return them. Don't be the kid that then leaves them sitting at your desk, because then once again it becomes kid hunting season. On something like that, AJ, it's up to you. That's not as bad as when I have like a full sheet of paper and they have like the extra stuff around it. If you want to remove it so you look all fancier, that's fine with me. If you're being fine being non-fancy, once again, I'm fine with that too. Jada.
Is this too big?
The paper? No, it just makes you special. I'm okay with that. So here's what's going to happen for my collection-y thing. We're going to walk you through this next step to make life a little bit easier. Half of you, well, hang on. Those of you playing the home game, did you notice where I disappeared a second ago? Here's the part where you can go, and so you get to the part where I come back into the screen, and then you're going to pick up again. But this part's not going to help you much because you can't do it because you're not here. So those of you who are here, I'm giving half of you a note card. The other half of you do not get a note card. If you get a note card, pass it to the back of your row, and then just hang out for a moment. Hold that. Hold that. And with you get note card. You get note card. You get note card. And you get note card. Alright.
I like YouTube.
Those of you with note card, follow this direction. Those of you without note card, hang out for a moment and just smile for about 30 seconds. Because then you're going to get something too. So those of you with note card, take note card so it is up and downy. It's a very scientific term. We're going to take it from up and downy, and you are going to fold it so the two short ends meet each other. It's going to make like a little tent for a Smurf. And you can go pinchy, 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 pinchy. You're going to pinch it really close so it sort of makes a tent. Something like this. It should have been like that. That would have not epically failed so far. Once you've done that, you're now going to fold it back on that same crease, going the other way. Then you pinch it again. Pinchy, 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 pinchy. All right. So now you've made a tent the other direction. Now we're going to fold it back and forth a few times. Once you've done that, now here's the next critical stage. We are going to moisten this edge. There's a couple ways to do that, depending on how brave you are and how many issues you might have. One way is extend tongue, gently go. The problem with that is if you're too speedy, you're either going to A, cut off your tongue, or B, you're going to paper cut your tongue, and I cannot put a Band-Aid on your tongue. It's not going to work. If that scares you, here's option 2. Lick a finger, and you rub that across the top. Either way you do it, what you are not doing is licking the whole front of it like it's a postage stamp. No. Nor do you lick finger and then paint the front of it. No. Just aiming for... Just going across that front part. Every time I get started. So then once you've done that... Oh, it feels like he's taunting me. You should have a nicely moistened edge, and it should allow you just to pull it straight apart. No. That way it is like and like ripping in like weird shapes like Idaho or something like that. Once you've done that, there's going to be a kid sitting right next to you who does not have one. These two kids, they're right there. These two kids, they're right there. This kid, right there. This kid, right there. Jaden, I have yours, hang on. These four, you go that way. When Samuel's done straightly, you go backwards that way. Now, you don't hand one to them. You get to hold it up and they get to choose. Because you might have janked one up and been like, you get the nest. They do not. You hold it up and they go, I want the one that's not torn into pieces. So hold it and they get choosies. Get choosies. Choosy luck. Both awesome.
Good.
Hold on to that and we'll just get your picture. That's right. Now, everybody should have a little piece of paper. We're good to go now? Everyone has one? So here's the zoom tight. Next step. Take it so you have lines going acrossy, not up and downy. Acrossy. Once again, I use very scientific terms. We are going to fold it with the lines on the inside, so the lines are hidden. Once again, take top down to bottom. Once you've done that, we now have a tint for like a Smurf puppy. So it should be even smaller. You should have no lines on the outside. We are only folding it one time. What you are going to do on this, take it so it is in tint mode, not V mode. Tint, yes. V, no. In tint mode, you are now, here's where your pen will come in handy if you have it. If not, you're going to be forced to use a pencil and just not look as fancy. You are going to be writing your first and last name in big letters on the outside of this. First name, last name. If you don't know how to spell your name, use your notebook. It should be written there. What we are doing is creating a name tag for your picture when it goes out in the hallway, where it's going to have your face on there, and it's going to have a name tag on it. It's going to have your first and last name as a little flappy thing so we can all see it. So this is what we're in the process of creating. Flappy thing along those lines. So put first and last name on there. If you feel the desire to put a balloon or a butterfly or a happy face next to your name, I'm okay with that. I am not one to judge your personality along those lines. If you're like,
Mr. Brovicast, I'm a unicorn kind of guy.
more power to you. You put a little unicorn on there right next to your name, and you go ahead and embrace that bad boy. What I need is first and last name, so that we can have your whole name on there so we can see it. And then in a moment, I'm getting ready to come around and collect them from you, so I can put them on the wall for everybody to see. Now, when you hand them to me, if you would like to avoid being whacked in the head, you are not pinching it around there, because it turns into a bunch of springs. You need to open it up flat and put name tag flat on top. So just picture, face up, name tag straight on top of it. Just like that, and I can smash them all together. If I get to you, and you have yours pinched like this, I'm going to whack you on the head and go, hey child, do the thing all the other kids are doing. And you're going to go, thinking? I'm like, yes, thinking. So have it like that when I get to you. Thank you for letting me use your data. That was very nice of you. So now I'm going to come around, say your names, in case you still don't have the homework done. I'm going to be doing this slower, because I'll say names as I grab them, trying to help you out.
Mr. Brovicast, just like you're low-key nice.
Oh no. Addie. Braden. Alex. Anjo. AJ. Caleb. Don't lose that so we get your picture printed. Elijah. Jace. Eric. Jada. Jaden. Gavin. Mrs. Brown. Just so you can hear her name also. Leah. Now, you have to have both first and last name on the same side. Fix that, and I can take it from you.
You whacked her on the head.
Nick. She asked me to. You did. You didn't follow directions. Madison. That was your way of politely asking to whack your name. Piper. Matthew. Ryan. Ty. Samuel. London. Well done. All right. And I'm back. Now, if you have finished the homework, which is all the names, you can put your notebook away. If you've not finished all the names, keep it out, because I'll keep saying names, and you can keep writing them down. So I just figured if you're not done, we'll try to help you out. If you are done, then you should be good to go, and we'll try to help you from there. Ooh, by the way, on the homework, double check when you have yours in there. You do have a date and you have a title at the top. Because if not, when I come around to grade them, if they're not there, the head thwapping will happen. They go like, hey, where's your date and title? And you'll go, I don't thwack. So just helping you out, date, title. Now I know your thought is, Mr. Broviak, you would never thwack a kid in the head. Sometimes the thwacking helps the learning settle in. It's the gift I give to you. Next up. No, we're going to skip this. We'll come back to it. Skip that. Back. Go away. All right. Here we go. Now your handouty thing. Here's where handouty thing comes in, which you should have written your name on because you're responsible. Good job, responsible kids who wrote their name on there. I'm going to explain to you what we're doing for the project. And come here.
Are you going to pick our groups, Mr.
No. You get to pick your groups as long as you pick the kids I gave you in your group. Some of you will get that in a moment. So what's going to happen is this is a two-part project you are going to be doing. One part of it is you're going to be put into a group of 4 to 5 people. In this group, you are going to be creating a friend poster. The way the friend poster works is this is also going to be going up in the hallway for all the other kids to see, and it's going to have a picture of all the kids in your group on there. It's going to have a picture of you on there. It's going to have the 5 things that tell us more about who you are. It's going to have 5 words that describe you. And it's also going to have something everybody in your group has in common. And this becomes a thing. It allows us to know a little bit more about who you are. It goes out in the hallway so all the kids in the school can see it. So when they walk by and they see the fact that you have like Care Bears on there and you have monkeys on there and then you have the fact of like broccoli on there, they're like, oh, I love eating broccoli while watching Care Bears and cuddling with a puppy. Who's this kid I'm going to become new friends with? And they get to creepily hunt you down and stuff like that. And they'll know exactly who you are because your face is on there so you can't hide from them, so it makes life even better. So this is one part of it, creating giant friend thing. The other thing we're going to do, I realize that some teachers do a, hey, beginning of the year thing, let's meet other kids and find out more about you. I thought that was a genius idea. And I go, how can I take that idea and make it more stressful and freak kids out? So I said, instead of you talking about yourself, instead, you're going to talk about someone else in the class. You are going to have to interview this other kid and give a speech about them, where you're going to stand up here and talk about this other child in the room. The reason it makes it more fun is if you talk about yourself, you can be lazy and not prepared and just make stuff up. But if you're talking about someone else, you can't be lazy because you can't just make up random things about this other person because they're going to go, what? no, that's wrong. And so you have to actually do your work, and you have to actually be prepared, and we get to find out which kids I get to harass for making poor choices.
Mr. Broviak, I'm excited already.
It's okay. You're not excited. You're afraid. You got those confused, but we'll help you out. So now, taking a look at the side that has all the words on it. So look at wordy side, which is probably not the one that has your name on it. Ooh, by the way, not that I would ever thwack a child in the head, but on the name side, you did write your last name on it, right? I wouldn't like come by and just see one that just has a last letter or anything like that. Just making sure. Had some other kids in classes who just had last letter, and I was like, them kids. All right. Where it goes down to, let's see, items for poster. Here is what you're going to do for the stuff on your poster. So let's see. All group members' names. You're going to write your group members' names in really big letters in there so we can read and find out who you are. This was a group from a couple years ago. It's one of my favorite groups ever. You can see when you get a chance to get a closer look at it. The 4 kids on there were completely awesome.
Mr. Broviak, those kids look like you.
That's because they're all neat. I put a picture of them. There you go. Gives you a chance to see the poster. There's a better, closer view of it. You can now see why it was my favorite group of kids ever, because they were really, really cool. Samuel? My daughter. The one that's not me? My daughter. The only person that's almost as cool as me is my kid. So you're going to put names on there, all the names you see up there. You have to find 2 things your group has in common. So you're going to have to talk to the other people in your group and figure out what it is you guys all share. It cannot be something that every group can claim. If it is, I'm going to mock you in front of the rest of the class. So you cannot do something like, we're all wearing shoes, or we're all alive, because I'll make that not happen. Or something along those lines. So it has to be something that it's possible other groups could not do. Something like, we all have younger siblings. Or, we've all been to Ohio. Or, we all love pizza. Something where you guys have talked to each other and figured out what you guys all have in common. Now, a couple things to help you out with this. 1, I don't know you yet. So, if you feel the need to make a thing up, that's fine. If 3 of you have been to Ohio and 1 of you hasn't, you can do this thing called lying. And just go, yep, all 4 of us have been to Ohio. And one kid goes, yeah, wherever that place, that's fine with me. I'm just seeing you guys work together, come up with an idea. If you're like, we all wear glasses, and 3 of you have glasses, and one guy's like, that's fine. It's just allowed. I'm looking for you guys to work together and sort of problem solve, figure out the things in common. The only way to lose points on that part of it is when you're like, we're all wearing clothing. And I'm like, and lost a point. So it has to be something other groups can't. Now, if you do, we all have younger siblings, and another group is like,
We all have younger siblings.
that's fine. It's a thing that it's possible other groups can't claim. If you just coincidentally have the same thing, I'm not going to yell at you for that. Elijah, you were patient. What's up?
What were the kids' real names instead of?
I don't know. They weren't important. They're not me. Good try, though. Then, find a group of pictures that represents you. This is where you're going to have the 5 pictures that represent you on your poster. So you have those 5 pictures on there. So now I kept telling you how much room you have. When you create your poster, this is how much room you have for your pictures, your name, and all of your information. So if you have giant pictures, it's not going to fit in this little area. So that's why you have that much area to cover. Let's see, the 5 pictures. Group. I am going to take your group picture tomorrow when we start going through this. I'm going to have all 4 of you guys get together, and you're going to smile like ee and lean together. And I'm going to go clicky and then take a picture of you, and I'll print that off, and we'll put it into the middle. So I'll take the pictures of you guys for that part. And then 5 adjectives. You have to come up with 5 words that describe you. Adjectives are describing words.
Mr. Broviak, I can't think of any adjectives.
You have 2 options. 1, there's a magical machine that most of you bring with you. You can open it and then Googlinate, what are adjectives? And it'll come up with a whole list of words, and then you find the ones that describe you. Or you can look at the kids in your group and go, how would you describe me? And they're going to go, annoying, irritating, vacuum. You're like, okie dokie. And you write those ones down too. So you're going to figure out words that describe you. Now, some of you might be a bit confused, And you're going to do something like,
I'm kind of dumb, smart, tall, a little short.
have it. And so, yeah, that's as long as you have the 5 words, they don't have to make complete sense. It just gives us a way to judge you and find out more about you. But you'll figure out whatever 5 words work best for you there. And then you're going to make sure the poster is colorful. If you do this in pencil, I charge you points. If you do it in pen, I charge you points. If you do it all in the same color, I charge you points. It needs to be beautiful and bright. I have markers, and you get to use my markers. It needs to look like a unicorn threw up on here, because unicorns throw up rainbows. And I look at this, I'm like,
There's rainbows everywhere. Did you use Skittles?
and you're like, yes, I did. So it needs to look beautiful like my soul. It should not be deep and dark like every other teacher's soul. So I'm looking for it to be beautiful. Jada.
So this is kind of irrelevant, but like, is this like K or B on there, and then there's like a K or B over there? Are they just like same people, maybe, or something?
Kyvorb is my last name backwards. It's my evil side. As we get into it, because you see me being all smiley and happy in the Mr. Broviac. Kids years ago, whenever, because I do get angry sometimes, and I went all like dark and evil, and kids would see horns pop out, my eyes would turn red. And so because it was the complete opposite of my normal personality, they gave that character the name Kyvorb, because it's my name backwards, because it's the opposite of Broviac. And so Kyvorb is the thing that'll pop up quite a bit, because it's my dark side.
So that's why that red devil's there right there.
That is why my symbol is the red devil, which is why back over here you're going to see like random red devil symbols and stuff like that, because it sort of became my symbol, because I'm such a happy person, but I have such an evil, awful, dark side as we get into stuff. Hartman,
What happens if you have black and white pictures?
then that's fine. Usually I just charge you 1 point. Now you can use colored pencils to color them in, and then you're using effort to make them look poppin', and that's fine because now you're putting effort into it. If you leave them black and white, I'm fine, but I charge you a point for being kind of boring. I'm happy either way. That's the poster part. Next thing we have, you're going to get to the part where it says, for your interview. Here's the fun part. Here's the bit where you're going to be going through and interviewing a kid in class. These are the things you need to know about them. All right. First off, you are going to need to know the kid's full name. First name, middle name, last name. Because the first thing you're going to start off with your speech is, this is Joey Jojo Jababowitz, or whatever their full name is. Now, here's where we start having some issues. Because some kids go,
I'm not telling someone my middle name.
well, you're out of luck. Unless, get this, I don't know your middle name. You can make up a new middle name. I'll have no idea. So if you don't like your middle name, you get to come up with a new middle name. You're like, this is JoJo Superman Jababowitz. You're like, that's really your middle name? Like, yep, yes it is. That's fine with me. I'm not going to look it up. I'm also lazy. So all I need you to do is come up with your middle name. Now, some of you, here's the drawback. I have lazy kids in class, but I don't know who the lazy kids are yet. So you might be partnered with lazy kid. If you're partnered with lazy kid, and you ask them, hey, what's your middle name? And they go, oh no. You lose points because it's your speech. You're being graded on the information. So if you're interviewing a kid and they're lazy and won't give you the information, you lose points.
Mr. Roviak, that's not fair.
I agree. So I'll help you out. If you're interviewing a kid and they're lazy and won't give you an answer, you get to make up the information. So as soon as you ask them and you go, what's your middle name? And they go, well, it's Susie. Then you go ahead and write it down. If they don't like it, they shouldn't have been lazy, because I have very little tolerance for lazy people. So either you ask the middle name or make sure that you make it up and solve the problem that way. Next up, where they were born. I want to know the city and state of where they were born. For many of you, it's probably going to be either Noblesville, Indiana, Fishers, Indiana, or Indianapolis, Indiana. Because for many of you, you were born around here. Some of you were not born around here. That's fine. Go home, ask the big people in your house. Now, be careful when you ask, because if you go home and go,
Mommy, Daddy, Where did I come from?
That's a different conversation you might not be prepared for. So you might want to make sure you ask, what hospital was I born in, to prevent some real awkward moments there. Now, if they can't tell you, or they don't know, guess what? I wasn't there. I don't know either. So you get to just make it up. And you can be born anywhere you want to be. Like,
I was born in Bubbatown, Brazil.
and I'm like, really? And you're like, yep, fine with me. As long as you come up with an answer, that's what I'm going for. Again, if the kid you're interviewing is lazy and goes, I don't know, what do? Make up the answer, because you are being graded on giving me this information. A lot of what this first one is, I told you this beginning part, the homework is figuring out my lazy kids. That's what this first little project is. I want to figure out who my lazy kids are who refuse to do work. Oh my God! We're all going to die! Ah! Never mind. It's just a fire alarm. I get to check the hallway.
That
Make
scared
sure
me too.
there's no bad people out there.
Honestly, I thought this was like a drill in there. When he's scared, it's scared. I mean, when he yells. Oh yeah, this is a no, it's not. I got actually a little from the water, but then he said.
Yeah, but it's gonna be surprised. That was in the book.
No, it's supposed to be a drill. It's something that's in all the books. This was a two.
I check teacher talking. They changed all the rules on how we do fire drills now because of like the shootery people that have issues out there. So we used to have to like go out right away. Now we don't. We like wait here for a moment. We're like, is the world safe? And we're gonna find out.
Students and staff, this is a drill, and as I can see through the hallways, staff, thank you so very much for sheltering in place. At this time, you should have gotten a good view of your surroundings, and you have noticed that there is nothing as far as danger involved. We will at this time conduct our evacuation. So, at this time, students, follow your teacher's directives in evacuating the building. Thank you.
So, hang on 1 second. Those of you who are watching the home version, we'll pick up on this tomorrow, so you get to just chill and hang out. We'll see you. Bye-bye.